Hi everybody. We shall be starting the live video shortly. Nice to see Abel Raj joining. We shall be starting the video shortly. We have been looking at the series of how chess improves the cognitive processes. Now, whether the chess makes improvement in their intelligence, does chess make improvement in creativity? We did see that chess is making a difference in intelligence in our previous episodes. And when we were just to recap what you've been doing, we also found that chess is making a difference in their processing speed, their verbal comprehension, the working memory, and the perceptual reasoning. And today's topic is, does chess make a difference in creativity? Children who learn to play chess, do they improve on their creativity? So what then is creativity? Creativity is the ability to produce a work which is both novel and appropriate. It's that which is something which is original, unexpected, and appropriate. Creativity, we can call this as a tendency to generate ideas or recognize ideas, alternatives, possibilities for a solution, to apply knowledge to bring a solution. It can even be communication or an art of encouraging oneself or others. Having said that, we can define creativity as something which comes out of imagination. Unfortunately, most of our education systems are based on remote memory. But creativity is something which builds imagination, something which they can think of. Creativity is something which is absolutely original, that which has not been. Creativity is something that brings productivity. When we say productivity, we're talking something that comes out of divergent thinking. Playing inside a chessboard of only 64 squares cannot bring thinking out of the box. Now, thinking out of the box is the major issue that's coming in. But does chess give that skill, is what the question is. The problem-solving methodology. How else can we handle a particular problem? And the ability to produce an outcome which is of a value and something with that which is worthy. Having said that, how do you measure creativity in a child? So we were doing a project for DST, Department of Science and Technology, and then we found using Wallach-Kogan test, there's something called a Wallach-Kogan creativity test, WKCT, which measures they've got 5 subsets. It measures similarities, it measures alternatives, it measures line meaning, pattern meaning, and then instances. These are the 5 subsets of Wallach-Kogan test. Using this test, we can find the creative ability of a child. So when we were doing this project, we kind of did a creativity test for all the children, and then divided them into 2 groups, control and experimental. And when we saw that kids who underwent chess training, randomly selected kids who underwent chess training, improved significantly. Analysis of covariance was done, And then we found, actually we test their creativity, and then they were divided into two groups, and one group was randomly assigned to play chess. And these kids were not regular chess players. We were randomly selected these kids, and then we gave them an ability to get trained. At the end of the year and 2 years, we found amazing results on the children who underwent chess training over the children who were doing other activities. Why then chess produces such improvement, enhancement in creativity in these children? Sometime back, Avni, a psychologist, had said, while they play chess, there are 4 stages. There's a stage of synthesis. Now, what is this synthesis stage? They have come out with a plan. Okay, now this is the structure in which I'm going to play the game. The opening moves. This is what I'm going to do that. So that's a synthesis. And when they look at a particular position, they call that process as gathering. Gathering information. In any given situation, we need to gather the information. So the children are continuously put in places to gather information from every position. Now, how many pieces are there? Where have they been placed? And how to work on them. So the gathering of information on a given particular situation is very important. Having done the synthesis, having done gathering, looking at a position, suddenly they come out with a novel idea. Now this is a generation of an idea. Now this, we call this as enlightenment. Now, you know the famous thing that this enlightenment comes to people in different times. And once they get it, they shout Eureka. So this is creative, that based on the past knowledge, and you start working on it. A chess player works on every position. Chess can be divided into 3 stages. We call this opening, middle game, and end game. In an opening, even though thousands of games have already been played, and then they store these games in a place called chess base. They look at these games, and grandmasters, using laptops, computers, and sitting with groups of grandmasters, they sit down and think of some move that has not been played before. Now that is called as novelty. So they come out with that. Before they come out with novelty, they also do metacognition. Now metacognition is an extremely important area which it involves more than creativity, more other cognitive processes as well. What is metacognition? In chess, they're able to play the games, record the games, and analyze what moves they have played. Now that is very, very important. By the grace of God, I've trained about 7,000 kids. And even a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, I think in 2007, I took a little boy to play the World Under-8 Championship in Turkey. So when we used to analyze the games, I used to ask him, we used to replay the game and ask him, Jerome, tell me what went wrong. So he'll go through the particular move, and then he will say, I have made a mistake here. Now that is metacognitive ability. A child analyzes, synthesizes, gathers information, and then comes, this is what I need to have played here. Now that is enlightenment. In any given situation, in any given crisis, what are the alternatives? What are the possibilities? What has not been thought before, original, and that which is of worth. Now that's very important. And then the 4th stage comes in realization of what they've already done. The ability to put forth, the ability to execute their plans, the strategies which they have worked upon. So when we play a game of chess, all these aspects of creativity, the divergent thinking, the thinking out of the box, all this comes in. In every given position, they look at the board, they gather the information, they go back to the pattern recognition, how the games have been played earlier, how many games have been played earlier, what are the strategies evolved. And then they come back and then they say, in this particular given position, now they think. There are times a child thinks even 40 minutes before making a move. And then they shout, then they come out and then they play the rest of the moves quickly. So that is what we call as enlightenment. Now, any given situation, in any given major problems, the ability to sit down, analyze, gather information and come out with a novelty, now that is creativity. Now, doing these processes cognitively trains the kid to come out with novel moves, that which has not been before. So, chess does make chess is a very good tool to build creativity in children. There are two methods of learning chess. One is to teach them how they have been played and make them to play the same game. Now that is not very good. That is just by remote learning. And even in education systems, we tell them, we give them tables, we give them methodology, and most of our Indian education systems goes by memory. You memorize a formula, you memorize a theorem. When I was doing my statistics masters, and I realized so many things, you just have to put it, whether you understand it or not, you just have to put it back there. So I think it's more important that you make them to think in any given situation, to come out with their own original ideas, novelties, to help improve their abilities. So I would like to put forth, some of you have been watching, and if there are any other questions that you would like to ask, I would like to definitely answer that before we end up. You can put in your information, type in information, and take up questions. It's good to see people coming across the world coming into this particular position. So I would like to say that based on the study done for Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, it was a 4-year study, that children who underwent chess training had a statistically significant impact on their creative skills. Now, improving the creative skills will also have an impact in their education, in day-to-day life, in every aspect of the life in which they're doing. Now over to the viewers. If you have a question, how chess makes, what is an aspect of creativity, and how chess makes an impact on the creativity of children. And well, coming to chess players, some of the chess players are, should a chess child have a basic interest in chess? That's a good question from Deputy Commissioner of Income Tax, Mr. Solomon from Cochin. Good one. We can teach chess in a few days. 8 sessions, 8 half-an-hour sessions or 8 one-hour sessions is enough to teach a child to play chess. The moment they play chess, it doesn't mean that they will improve creativity, but it takes about 8 sessions to teach chess. And any child can play chess. And I would say 5 to 75 years, anybody can play chess. When in Manhattan, I trained a 75-year-old Jewish lady, and she started playing chess. So a child necessarily need not have interest, but it's important the person who is training teaches them in a way that they learn interest. Oh, okay. Abel Raj would like me to ask, what are the 5 markers of creativity? I was saying that imagination. I would say that originality, novel, unexpected. Yeah, so originality, imagination, originality, and productivity. Productivity that comes out of divergent thinking, out of the box thinking. Now, thinking out of the box. We train kids to look at, okay, this is the way. I know when I used to have struggles in my exams, I would never repeat an answer just the way it is in the book. I would always try to put my own way. So, but that is what needs to be helped. We have to, the productivity, coming out with divergent thinking, and then problem solving. And then comes the ability to produce a work which is worthy and novel. So, and I would like also to repeat what Avni said. It is very, very important for chess players and also for others. Synthesis. What is the plan of action? What needs to be done? In a given situation, why do you need to do something? Now, that's the most important. What is the plan of action? And many times when the child says something like that, we say, keep quiet. Where are we going? Keep quiet. Now that's not right. You have to keep the child in the loop and keep telling them what we need to do so that they begin to think creatively. So it is easy to curb the creativity of a child. If a child is extremely creative, he will start coming out, I told you to do this way, but you're doing it in a different way. Now that's not creativity. And try to understand what is the given problem, what is the given situation, what are the alternative methods. Now chess comes out with candidate moves, and every time when they come out with a solution, a coach will say, is there anything else? Is there any other alternative? Now that's very important. So synthesis is one thing, and gathering of information is absolutely essential. You don't miss out. While you drive, you miss out a car, that's it, in a different angle. Gathering of information. Now that's creativity, and then also comes in their enlightenment. That's the most important part, and that's what I think. Sometimes we look at a position, a tactical position. When we teach chess, we teach tactics and endgames, and children are all just thinking at the board for a very long time. And suddenly, when they get the move, you can't stop them. With their 4 kids or 10 kids, they start jumping and say, "Sir, I know it." I remember one time, several times national champion and India's first international master was teaching chess. And in my academy, in the Manual Chess Center, where we run an academy at the Russian Cultural Center. And every time, everybody will be watching, and when he gets the answer, he will start jumping. And the elderly gentleman will try to say, "Stop it," but he wouldn't. You cannot control. That's the enlightenment. When you got a solution to a problem, which is a tough problem, that's the enlightenment. And then the execution is extremely important. The plan, because when you're trying to execute that plan, you get a lot of, the opponent tries to stop it. He plays prophylactic. So how do you execute the plan? All these makes chess enhance creativity. I hope you enjoying these lectures during this lockdown periods, and I encourage you to encourage your children, and not only your children, each of you can start playing chess, and chess definitely enhances creativity. Thank you. Hope to see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.